Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for joining me today. Not only our media partners that are here, but also to those that are joining us on Mayor Johnson SAV on Facebook. If you have questions throughout this presentation, you certainly could put them into the chat and I would be more than glad to answer them. If you're like me, I spent half the night watching basketball, and then I spent the other half of the night analyzing basketball and giving my very unsolicited play-by-play and my 2020 hindsight of what I would have done. A monster game between LSU last night and Josh's alma mater, so he's very happy. Jay Melder is not very happy, so I'm in a building with divided loyalties. But I am so proud of Savannah Johnson, Savannah's own Savannah Johnson, affectionately known as Big Four. Now, she led all scorers on LSU, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, played 37 minutes. Against a freaking beast. Playing against probably the best player in history. This woman is absolutely bananas. She just does like unhuman stuff. I think I could beat her, but I mean, you look and we were talking a little bit before this, but her command of the floor, her ability to shoot from all angles, wherever at will, it's just hard to play against those types of legends. But Flage did her thing, and I think for us, regardless of what Angel Reese does, you're seeing the transition of leadership for the LSU basketball team. So I'm shouting out Flage and her mom and their teammates. It's good basketball. At the end of the day, we want to see good basketball. And particularly at this day and time, it's good for the sport. It's good for little girls who want to play. And it's interesting to me that the girls' side is really more interesting to me than the guys' side. It's just basketball. So, but anyway, that's what I spent my night doing. And so moving on to something more serious, for a while, as you all know, I've been talking about the dangers of leaving firearms in unlocked vehicles. And we know that the vast majority of stolen firearms come from unlocked vehicles, and those stolen firearms are used to commit violent crimes throughout our city. I've been very, very clear about this, that we have to do everything that we can do to be able to stem the tide of violent crime in our city. And I have enlisted myself in doing everything that I can possibly do on all ends to be able to make sure that we have less violent crime in our city. The data drives us, and we have to be data-driven. Last year, 244 firearms were stolen in Savannah, according to statistics from Savannah Police, 244. Of those 244 firearms that were stolen, 203 of them were stolen from cars that were reported as being unlocked. 203. That means there's 203 opportunities because of carelessness that a gun can be used in the commission of a violent crime. This year, 69 firearms have been stolen from vehicles, and of those 69 this year, and we're only in April, 56 were stolen from unlocked vehicles. The math ain't mathing, and that is a problem for me. So I have asked the city attorney's office, and as you know, we've been working for the last several months to draft a proposed ordinance designed to reduce firearm thefts by encouraging and mandating responsibility for firearm safety in vehicles. This proposed ordinance will amend Chapter 9 of the City of Savannah's Code to add new offenses. Number 1, all firearm owners and dealers will be required to report the theft of a firearm to the Savannah Police Department. The Savannah Police Department will record and maintain unique identifying information pertaining to each firearm reported stolen. We need to know that the firearm is out there so we can be looking for it. Number 2, all persons traveling with firearms in their vehicle will be required to store them in a locked compartment while the vehicle is parked. Owners may not allow guns to be visible while parked, and all vehicles containing firearms must be fully locked when not in operation. Now, to be clear, we support the Second Amendment and the right to bear arms. And so this ordinance will not affect one's ability to legally carry a firearm in your car. But this ordinance does address irresponsible actions by firearm owners. It is our responsibility to do whatever we can within the parameters of the law to keep Savannahans safe, and I am committed to doing just that, whatever it takes. So I have asked City Council for their support. It is my goal to bring this ordinance to City Council next week, and I'm hoping that our colleagues will approve it. Beyond that, I'm asking for us to have a 30-day intensive public awareness and education campaign to make sure that people are aware of this. Now, to be very clear, whenever you mention that G word, people really get upset. And in the time that you could take to call my office and complain about it, you could lock your gun up. In the same time that you can send me a nasty email or a nasty social media message, you can lock your car up. If you are lock your vehicle up, if you're locking your vehicle up, locking your gun up, securing your firearm, you have no problems from me. This is addressing the fact that last year that we had 203 weapons taken from unlocked vehicles. That is 203 opportunities to be able for someone to be victimized by a violent crime. So we promised, we vetted, we've worked, and now we're going to deliver on that. And so stay tuned, but I'm hoping the council will recognize this as being an issue, and we have to follow the data. And so if we did not have 203 free opportunities to take a gun with a sign in the car that says, "Take me, please," then we're really now only talking about what? We're only talking about 41 stolen from locked cars. That's a big difference. So we're asking council to support this in the interest of public safety. We have to get this number down significantly, and we have to get it down now. Summer is here, people are out, and we have to address it. This afternoon at 12:30, we're excited because the City of Savannah will officially designate a portion of Ageechee Road as Bishop C.M. Bailey Way. And we will hold a very special ceremony beginning in the front of the Ageechee Road's United House of Prayer for all people. A portion of Ageechee Road between West 34th and West 35th Street will be closed to vehicular traffic from 11:45 until the end of the ceremony at approximately 2:00 p.m. Bishop Bailey was a national and international leader. with churches all across the nation, several here in Savannah. He passed away at the end of last year, and we had spoke before about honoring the commitment of the United House of Prayer to the city of Savannah, and so we decided upon his passing to name it in honor of him. So we're excited to join our friends from the United House of Prayer for All People to celebrate Bishop Bailey's life and certainly his influence in Savannah. I'm also very excited to announce this morning that the registration for the 2024 Mayor's Small Business Conference and the events of Savannah's Small Business Week are now officially open. Business owners and entrepreneurs can register for the 2024 Mayor's Small Business Conference at savannahga.gov/MSBC. MSBC, savannahga.gov/MSBC. This has been one of my favorite things to do. As a matter of fact, the Mayor's Small Business Conference has been so successful in recent years that we have partnered with other advocates to create some synergy, and we have tripled the size of this conference. So we want to see small businesses in Savannah win. We're committed to making small businesses in Savannah win. We know that the reason why Savannah did so well during the pandemic is because our small businesses carried the ball over the finish line for us. And the city has a responsibility to help them to win. We have a lot of tools for them to help, and we have a great team at our Entrepreneurial Center and our Economic Development Department that have put a lot of energy and effort in supporting our small business economy. And so we have a lot of great events happening this year. On April the 29th, the Savannah Area Chamber of Commerce will host a pre-conference small business forum and job fair to start the week of events. On Tuesday, April the 30th, the Mayor's Small Business Conference will kick off at 8 a.m. with a packed agenda of workshops and presentations. And on that agenda, Savannah business leaders from different sectors will share an overview of their industries and offer key insights into future possibilities for the Savannah economy in the 11th Annual State of Small Business Address. So there's a lot more happening that week, but I'm encouraging folks who want to be a part to register early. Do not wait until the last minute. Registration will remain open until April the 22nd or until all seats are filled. Ladies and gentlemen, do not wait till the last minute. A form can be found at savannahga.gov/MSBC, along with a full schedule of events. Last week, I had the opportunity to join with Keep Savannah Beautiful in the Avondale community with Alderwoman Linda Bryan and members of the Divine Nine, or Greek letter organizations, as we walked through the neighborhood to help keep this community clean. It was a great time, and we picked up a bunch of trash. This week, well, next week actually, the City Sanitation Department and Keep Savannah Beautiful will host the Great Savannah Community Cleanup, and that is on Saturday, April the 13th. Registration is open for residents and organizations. We know a lot of young people need community service credit. This is a great way to get it. This is a great opportunity to work with us in beautifying our beloved home and keeping it clean together. And so even though we have the pride of Savannah, the greatest sanitation department on earth, it still takes an entire community to keep our city clean, both in cleaning it up and then keeping it clean. And so we want everyone to be a part of this great event. And so for those who register, we will provide safety vests, gloves, plastic bags to support litter removal. And so, of course, again, we want students to be engaged and involved, and a great way to collect those community service hours before the year is over. Registration is open until April the 5th at savannahga.gov/spring cleanup. savannahga.gov/spring cleanup. Then also, registration is now open. We know the summer is coming, and registration for the city's summer camps is now open. So if you're looking for activities to keep your young people engaged and tired and involved during the summer, now is the time to start planning. The city's recreation and leisure services will be offering a lot of great summer camps, including a number of new specialty camps this summer. We want to reach everybody. And so to see a full list of camps and to register, you visit savannahga.gov, and we'll have more information out to everyone, including a special kickoff event next month. This is a great opportunity to get young people engaged, get them involved. We want them to be tired, and we're prioritizing City of Savannah residents. So although we know we have our partners and friends from around the community who want to come and take advantage of our wonderful events, we're Savannah first. And so our taxpayers, our residents will have first dibs to take advantage of those opportunities. So Savannah first, we'll wait on you, but then we have to take care of our own first. Finally, I want to take a moment of personal privilege to welcome the 159th session of the Georgia Annual Conference of the African Methodist Episcopal Church to town. The 6th District, which consists locally here about 60 houses of faith of the AME Church from Screven County to the Florida line, all the way to Emmanuel County, and to welcome back Bishop Reginald Jackson and Supervisor Christy Davis Jackson back to Savannah for their final time as the presiding team of the 6th District of the AME Church. So we have visitors here from AME churches from around the state and around the nation, so we welcome them all here, and we know that they'll have a wonderful and spirit-filled time. So that ends my prepared remarks. Again, if you have questions on the live feed, Mayor Johnson, SAV, you can ask your questions, and Ms. Aria will make sure that I have your questions. So we'll answer any questions you may have. Good morning.
Anything you can say about the trolley traffic, noise concerns downtown? I know y'all are, working to kind of get some of those solutions figured out, but anything you'd like to, say about that?
Sure. So this is a part of a bigger discussion that we've promised regarding livability. There has to be a balance between a business's opportunity to operate and be profitable operating, and a resident's ability to enjoy at least a reasonable portion of quiet, serenity, and security while they're home. And we know that some of that deals with trolley traffic. We've been working with our trolley operators and to come up with some ingenious ways of being able to lessen the noise as it relates to the tours, and there are a variety of technology means that can be employed as it relates to that. I'm also further, interested in being able to limit in some way the number of tours on a particular square or in a particular area at one time. Because there is not only the cumulative effect of murmurings that together makes a lot of noise, but then also to make sure that we're doing it in a reasonable, responsible, and balanced way. So I think this is a conversation that we're already having. We've started that, but the larger conversation is livability throughout our entire city, and to make sure that we're balancing residential and business needs to create that balance. So we're actively working on that, and again, I think you'll see some proposals soon that we're hoping to employ.
In relation to the proposed ordinance about guns being left in unlocked cars, how does the city plan to enforce that with the police department to make sure that those people are actually being punished for those offenses?
Well, I think that when these guns are reported. There are a variety of investigative means that the police can determine whether a car was artificially breached or whether the door was left open. You know, it's pretty clear if you have a convertible and the top is down and the gun was on the console. We're asking people just to do what makes common sense. If the gun is for your protection, then the gun should be with you. And we're asking for you to take the extra step to lock it in the glove compartment, lock it in the trunk, but just to leave it under the seat. Everybody knows you look under the seat, you look under the center console that's not locked, and it just doesn't make sense. We have to be sure now, and I've seen it before, young people walking down the street, and all they're doing is they're just trying the doors, seeing if the car is open. We want Savannahans to exercise their right and their responsibility as it relates to public safety. Public safety is a public responsibility, and so we can all do our part. We can't complain about crime but not doing our part to be able to deal with that. The reality is, many of you all know as a former police officer, you know, oftentimes I'm heated. But the reality is I'm not going to leave my firearm unmanned in a car. I'm just not going to do that because I have a responsibility to make sure that I'm keeping the public safe. And I would hate that my firearm is used in the commission of a crime where someone is hurt. So I'm trying to get that number down. And again, we've tried all we can do. We've begged, we've pleaded, we cajoled, and so now it's time for us to take some more definitive action. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just wanted to clarify, part of the ordinance would be not only that the gun is locked up in the car, but also hidden or not visible?
Locked.
Locked, just locked.
Locked.
Okay, great.
They require, again, because they're hidden, I think, you know, again, the center console is hidden, but it's not necessarily locked. The goal is that we don't want to make it easy for people to be able to get those guns. It might be hidden from view under the seat, but then, you know, it's not taking away from somebody's ability to be able to get it and go. We know that particularly for crimes of opportunity, if it's easy to get, they'll get it. If it's not easy to get, they just won't. It's just not worth it. It's not worth being detected, and so they'll leave it alone.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
My focus is on the Ogeechee fire. I just wanted to ask, what impact does a fire that's burned for 6+ days have on taxpayer dollars?
Well, you know, obviously we budget for an average and anticipated events. You know, we have the greatest fire department in the world, and it is a ISO 1 rated fire department. We have the best training, and we budget accordingly. So we recognize these anomalies will happen, so I don't see necessarily an immediate impact on budget. We're very early in the year, but obviously we can't have too many of those because it's a huge use of resources. But I think Chief Kitchen and the fire department plan for those such things. I remember a couple of years ago we had a fire to occur at a port facility right next to the bridge, and it was tires or something, and it really burned for a very, very long time. You know, again, those things don't happen often, but we plan for them. So right now, not a major budget input, you know, but we try to limit those events.
What would you say to those guys that have been out there for 6 days rotating for the last 24 hours straight?
They're beasts. They are MVPs. That is why they are the best fire department in the world. They train for these things, and these are the types of things they live for. They live for going out there and making a difference, and that is why they are the best. That is why communities around the city of Savannah try to fashion a fire department like ours, because we have the best personnel, we have the best trained personnel, we have the best training, we have the best resources, and we have the best men and women who get out there every day and be able to make it done. So my continued thanks to Savannah's finest, well, Savannah's bravest, which is our fire department.
Really quick about the Aborn sinkhole. Do you know if the plan is to still work on that today? And if so, how long will they be out there?
I didn't hear the first part.
The Aborn sinkhole, that sinkhole on Aborn, are they going to work on that today? And if so, how long will that be closed?
I do not know. I know that they're assessing that, and it has not gotten to my office, but we'll release an update today if we can get one. Yeah, thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
With the proposed new offenses related to firearms, do you know what those penalties would be?
Yes. It's not criminal, in terms of the state code. So it's not classed as a misdemeanor or a felony. It's classed as an ordinance violation, but still can be heard in a recorder's court. It is a fine not to exceed $1,000 or not more than 30 days in jail. The code reference is OCGA 36-30-8. And so we can impose fines not to exceed $1,000 and no more than 30 days in jail.
And can you give any insight into the type of work done in legal review for this to make sure, y'all aren't running up against state law, national law? And two, are there any other
responsibility of someone to keep those arms secure. And so it's very delicate. I want to make sure that we're not infringing on that in any way, make sure we're not violating any existing state laws, but yet to address our responsibility to be able to make sure that our community remains safe. I think they've done an excellent job. I think that we've edited it, we've tested it internally to answer those types of questions. And again, the first thing people, when you say the G word, is, oh my gosh, you're trying to take our guns. No, we're not even having guns. Just lock them up. Lock them up. Lock them up. And again, at the same time that people can use to be upset about it, is that they can lock their firearms up. They lock them up, they don't have a problem with me. You can have a whole suitcase full of weapons, take which, secure. That is your responsibility to have the privilege of the right to secure. And so we're going to drive this number down. And I hate for someone to be the first that example that we made of. But, so be it. I think we tried long enough to do it by begging and pleading. It's time now for moving from carrots to moving to sticks. Anything else? Any questions from Mayor Johnson, SAD? Okay. Ms. Ariel reports that there are no questions. No?
No, just warm regards.
Huh?
Just warm regards.
Warm regards? Hey everybody, this is Savannah Mayor Johnson, SAD. Good morning, hope y'all are doing well. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Thank you all. Beautiful week ahead in the world's greatest city. Thank you all for all you do. Let's be Savannah strong. Go big 4.